All right, so we're here watching play happen. And once again, this is a little bit of rough and tumble play. Hey, buddy, let's go. So they're allowed to do rough and tumble play. Still sharp movements still kind of get to him a little bit. However, he's actually doing play bows. He's running. He's not 100% completely nervous. As the other dogs bark towards him, he'll turn and he'll run. So this dog, Coconut, is being really overbearing on him. So we'll correct Coconut. Hey, stop. Hey, move. Move. Now, what happens is this is very important for D.O.G to see when we actually correct other dogs. And the reason for that is it shows that I'm being fair not only with the other dogs when I correct them, because a lot of the times that will end up happening where the dog may see us only correcting them. And there is a sense of unfairness of what's actually happening. Now, if other dogs are doing unwanted behaviors, so right now he's really nervous, but he's allowing it to happen. But I'll step in, move. What this does is this allows him to show him that I'm also advocating for him. So there's a sense of fair play that he starts to open up to, and that he really starts to get along with. Do you want to go ahead and bring another dog into the ring? And if Coconut's being too much, we can also take Coconut out. You're being too much. Being too much. Yep. Maybe Sadie. Maybe Sadie.
Lola?
Or Lola. Yeah, Lola. Good. Come. Good case. Good. Yes. Good. Off. So he sees the new dog coming in. He's interested. He wants to go up and sniff, as opposed to being. There we go.
No. Mine, thank you. Well, hey.
Go ahead and take Coconut out. Coconut. Coconut's being a little too much right now, and then we can bring in one of the pugs because they're cute. Come on, guys. Let's go, guys. Come on. Let's go. Oh yeah, here we go. Come on. So we're slowly integrating with dogs, different sizes. Originally started off with the smaller of the dogs. Then we got some pretty good size ones in. And then now we're going to go ahead and add another small, and then we'll add another large. This way, guys. Come on. Let's go. And then we'll go ahead and get one of the Goldens. We'll get one of the Goldens ready. Hey, you. Get your paw out of there. Move. Had a dog terrorizing the other dogs by the fence line. There we go. Now we're going to get a little bit larger dog with a little bit more energy.
No. Well, look. Good girl.
Hey, buds. So as we're sitting back and we're watching the integration for D.O.G, today's lesson, today is day 4, and the lesson is going to be on tone, posture, and context. Voice, tone, posture, and context. So one of the ways that we're able to get our dogs to do stuff for us without actually having to physically get them to do it is we will also use their our voices. So, for example, that I can get a dog to be to show a little bit more energy. I can get them to do a lot of other things just by simply raising the tone of my voice, right? So when I raise the tone of my voice, I can show them that I'm having good boy, all right, just like that. And it's giving them clear communication of my intentions. Another thing that I can do is when I tell a dog to stop doing something that they're doing, I'm just going to wait till you don't have to wait too long over here before one of these dogs does something wrong, but listen to the tone of my voice when I tell them to stop. Go. So I hear those dogs over there. Hey, no. So as you can see, I've elevated that tone. That no is still there. However, there's no frustration with it. I'm not frustrated because the dog is doing something that I don't like. I'm simply telling them in the easiest way possible by using my voice to get them to stop that behavior or to get them to entice them to do that behavior. So voice is very, very, very important. In fact, so important that our voice, it takes over for language. Any one of these dogs that obviously you can just start speaking in whatever language you want to speak to them in, and they're not going to understand you. In fact, they're going to understand the tone and they're going to understand the tone and the volume as well as the context of the situation. So right now, when I'm playing with D.O.G, if I were to all of a sudden start saying, "Hey, good boys. Hey, you're a bad boy. You're a bad boy. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be jumping." He's obviously not going to understand that he should not be jumping because I'm using a higher pitch, a higher tone. Same thing that if I'm saying in a very deep voice, like, no, you're a good boy, he's obviously not going to understand that as well. So the tone and the context of what I'm saying to him is actually what matters at the offset more than anything else. Remember, once again, what we're trying to do with our voice, tone, and context is change behavior by showing our intention. Now, this is also backed up with body posture. So, for example, if I see a dog who's doing something like that I don't want them to do, like smelling pee, hey, no, move. Just like that, when I went over to that dog, pointed to that dog, showed them exactly what it is that I wanted them to do, and they moved away. Now, do they actually understand the word move? Probably not. However, with that voice tone and that posture of walking up towards them very quickly, that's what's going to change their perception of what it is exactly that I'm trying to get them to do. So do not underestimate the sound of your voice. So even physically, if you're not able to get to your dog volume, the volume of your voice, the consistency of your voice is going to get them to do those things over and over and over again. Also, when it comes to commands, when you're giving your dog a command, when you're giving your dog a command, one of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that it doesn't sound like you're yelling at them, but at the same time, it has to be very firm, cannot be a question. So, for example, if I tell them to sit, notice how it's not a yell. It's very clear, it's very concise, but what it's not is a question, as opposed to me saying the word sit. So you can see how the two can confuse the dog. I can say the same word over and over and over again in different tones, and it changes the meaning of the word. So if I want my dog to actually do that thing, it cannot be a request, has to be a command. Now, if I give that command has to be the same over and over and over again. Tone, volume, or at least the tone. So in this particular setting, I may have to raise my volume a little bit. However, the tone of the command is going to portray what it is that I want my dog to do, right? So I can say, sit, 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 sit. This guy, he knows it, he gets it. Or I can say it very loud because we're in a room full of other dogs. Sit! I'm not yelling it because I'm mad, it's because it's a command. So when you're dealing with your dogs at home, another thing is body posture. If you're telling your dog to do something on a command, you shouldn't be bent over like this. In fact, you should be quite above them. Hey, sit. So I'm not down with him because if I, nope, sit. If I'm down with him, this is, I have a couple of dogs barking at a dog leaving right now. If I've been over with him, the dogs may confuse it for playback, meaning it's time to play as opposed to it's time to train. So what I will do is I'll keep my back up. I may slightly lean over them just a little bit because it gives a sense of authoritativeness. And then, hey buddy, come on. He's going to knock my phone over. Oh, there we go. Come on. Gives him a sense of authoritativeness. Sit. Good, as opposed, good boy, come. Good boy, come. Good boy. And now notice how I'm switching through the tones very fluidly. And the reason why I'm switching through those tones is because I'm telling him exactly what it is at that exact time that his behavior is showing me. A lot of people, they get really caught up because they're not able to switch through those tones. Most of that happens because when they are switching through those tones, it's because there's a fair amount of there's a fair amount of feelings put into it, right? So if your dog is doing everything that you want them to do, such as like sitting on command, you're going to start sounding a little bit happier, right? So sit, good boy, sit, and that's and those sit. And those commands are going to get a little bit higher. Now, those commands shouldn't get higher. Those commands shouldn't get higher. In fact, those commands should stay the same. Where instead of saying sit, and as he's making me more and more happy, it shouldn't be going up to sit, sit, good sit, good sit. We want to keep it. We want to keep it as uniform as possible, so that way it gives your dog something to work off of. Now, later on in the future, your dog will probably get it, and your dog will understand that it should be, or that even when you start changing the tone. However, on the offset, when we're trying to make it very, very easy for them to understand what it is we're saying, you don't want to switch that tone. Maintain that tone, maintain that uniformity of what's a command, what's a reprimand, right, such as the no, and also what is a praise. Now, when it comes to praise, a lot of people have a really hard time getting that voice really, really high, where they are, especially men. So in the home, it's really hard for you to praise your dog at such a high tone. Hey, buddy, look at me, good boy, yes, good boy. And that getting up to that high pitch and then all of a sudden switching back to a normal tone is really hard for a lot of people to do, because if you're not feeling that specific emotion, it's hard for you to get to that high tone in order to show your dog exactly that they did something really, really well. Adversely, for a lot of women, it tends to be a little bit harder for them to give a command, not the reprimand. They're both men and women are really good at giving the reprimand. If the dog's making us upset, it's very easy for us to tell the dog no, right? Now, when it comes to a command, the command tone is much harder for women to do because it's not really within the repertoire of when I tell you to do something exactly like right now. Because their voices tend to be a little bit higher, it's a little bit harder to keep that same consistency. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead, look in the mirror. I've given this advice in the past. Look in the mirror and actually practice those tones. Because if you don't practice out loud, you're not going to get it. So when the time comes where you're supposed to be telling your dog to sit and you need a little bit of volume, you're probably not going to be able to do it. A lot of people get embarrassed out in public. So when they give their dog a command, or if their dog is not doing something that they like and they have to give their dog a reprimand, they get very embarrassed doing it. However, and also when it comes to giving your dog a reprimand, we experience a little bit of a time dilation. So, for example, if my dog is like barking and lunging at somebody, we may think that it's forever, or it's been, man, my dog's been barking for the last 5 minutes. I'm so embarrassed. However, it could have been 10 seconds, right? So, you'll be surprised how much those things go away when you practice speaking in the mirror, when you practice giving those tones on your own. You may feel a little silly while you're doing it. However, that's what it's going to take in order for your dog to understand exactly what it is that you need. So that's going to be our video for today, and we'll see you guys later on.